Hard sports all plays. Yeah. Hard sports all plays. Hard sports all plays. 365, we making a plays. We talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. Hard sport all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Hard sports all plays.
And welcome everybody to Real Talk on this Monday night. I am excited to be here with the Dallas Cowboys' favorite fan, the guy that always picks against them but talks trash when they figure it out. Coach Kenny, how are you, Coach?
What's happening, man? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Doing a lot better than the Chiefs. What's that?
It's Victory Monday, so I'm great, unlike yourself.
Yeah, it hasn't been Victory Monday for a long time on this side.
It has not.
We got a quarterback that starts with a W, but he don't get nothing. Lord knows. Going to be one of those days.
We'll wait on that topic.
Yeah, of course. So I guess we can still look into this game, but the Chiefs are doing what the Chiefs do. And for what it's worth, the Raiders are doing what the Raiders can do. I picked them to win the division for a reason. You're seeing that tonight. So far, I have it 14-0 at last update. I'm getting this pulled up. Yep, 14-0, and they have the ball again. It looks like the Chiefs just punted. So a disjointed offensive start, to say the least, for Kansas City. They started off all right. They had a penalty on their first drive, and they seemingly haven't been able to get it going ever since. But, of course, that happens when there's a ton of money in Vegas on the Chiefs to do big things. Absolutely dies. Because Patrick Mahomes' previous dominance of the Vegas Raiders is non-existent tonight for that reason. But right now I got Derek Carr at 6 of 8 for 106 yards and a touchdown. 58 of that coming to Devontae. He's also drawn quite a few pass interference calls. That was that?
No, I said he sure has.
Oh, yeah.
A couple big ones too.
Yeah. So we would definitely continue to track that. Hopefully the Chiefs can get it in go mode, because it could get a little boring if it keeps going like this. But we'll see, and we'll keep you updated. I was going to pick the Raiders for tonight's game just because I picked them to win the division, and they're 1-3. So I guess the pick's looking good, but we'll see kind of what comes of it. They've been frustrating for me this year. They've been in games. They're similar to the Ravens, but they've won more than the Ravens have. But Josh McDaniels and even Derek Carr, and I'm a Carr guy, but he's come up small a little bit in some of these situations. So hopefully they can get this dub tonight in Kansas City, get the momentum going, and build off that, because they're healthy for the most part. So not a lot of reasons. Who did you have coming into the night?
I actually was picking Kansas City, kind of for the reasons that you talked about with the Raiders. It just seems like it's just hard to figure them out. It seems like they have all of the pieces to be a really good team. And it's just, I don't know if it's chemistry or, the things not quite clicking together with all the new, with Devontae and trying to integrate him into the offense. I'm not sure. I can't quite figure them out. So I was going with the tried and true in terms of the Chiefs. So, but who knows? The way it's going right now, it's not looking good for me. But the Raiders can definitely get chased down. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's not. Josh Jacobs, I believe, has gotten and delivered a shot to the safety there. I think he could have ran away from him, but he looked like he sought the contact, which is great, I guess. But you don't need to take the big hit if you don't have to. But I guess you're trying to send a message, so I get it. But let's get into it. We had some picks. Man, this is a rough week for almost everybody except Dev. Actually, yeah, we were all 2-5 outside of Dev for different reasons.
No, I was 3-4.
You was 3-4?
Yeah, I was 3-4 because I would have been 4-3 if Cincinnati won.
I have you with Green Bay, Seattle. Those are both losses. The Jets. The Jets were 1-2. You're 1-2. Tampa Bay made you 2-2. Tennessee made you 3. Oh, you're right, 3. All right.
Yeah, 3-4.
All right, so it's just me and Chris down here at the 2-5 here at the bottom. Let me make sure that I don't give you the wrong for your total. So 3 for 4. Okay, so no, I did calculate it. Still right. All right, so on the year, Dev is 14-18, still bringing up the cellar. Kenny, you're even at 16-16.
All right, I'll take it.
I've come back to the pack.
You have
at 20-12, and Chris, who was 7-2 last week, is now 9-7. So 1 week can make a big difference.
Absolutely.
And I think it started, and we got to go there. Aaron Rodgers, or I'm not even going to say Aaron Rodgers. Some of these elite quarterbacks in goal line situations, they're just choking consistently. Like Aaron Rodgers is just in big times in the red zone. He is just, I don't even understand red zone inside the 10. He just can't get it home. We watched Baltimore last night kick the field goal. They've had some issues on fourth downs, and sometimes you got to get a win. The Chargers have taken some risks on fourth downs. So some of these clutch moments, some of these situations, I don't know what to think. I've said it on here, and I think people thought I was joking. I think it was last week when I said I think the NFC East is the best division.
No, you did say that. That was last week.
But maybe Saquon needs to be an MVP conversation. Like,
you can make a case. I'm just saying, somebody had him in that top 5, and that was called crazy.
Yeah, you own that. You did that. I was not sold. I still cannot believe that the Danny Dime Saquon Barkley. Who's he throwing to?
Yeah, it's some smoke and mirrors going on right now.
I don't see how they're doing it, and they only lost. They got us to Dallas, which is a great loss at this point. So
right.
Ron Rivera might want to get his resume together because the whole division can't be this great and you just bad. And we've been competitive, but 4-1 is 4-1. So you gotta respect us. So shout out to the Giants. I ain't on their bandwagon yet, but they're making it hard. They are making it hard. Your take, what happened? How did Green Bay do this?
Just another team. Well, I think with Green Bay, we're seeing that the issues that they have in terms of the inexperience in their skill positions in terms of the wide receivers. I think this is starting to kind of rear its head, but I can't really put this totally on offense because the defense, you can't give up to the Giants. Like you said, who is Daniel Jones throwing the ball to? Like, you can't give up this many points to this team when basically the only guy that you basically going into the game saying we just got to stop Saquon Barkley and make the other guys beat you. So to have that going in and then you still lose the game like that's not just on offense. That's the defense as well. So this team is puzzling to me. Like I can't. It's another team I can't put my finger on. So I'm not sure what this team is going to look like going forward. And I think the other part is that we've always had questions about Aaron Rodgers in terms of being a leader, and this is one of those situations where you have to be a leader because you got young guys and you got to bring them along. Like, so this is going to be a real referendum, and this is going to really speak to Aaron Rodgers' leadership. And we're starting to hear some chirping. I heard Aaron Jones had something to say. So it's a lot going on right now. So I don't know. You have to be concerned if you're a Packers fan.
And that was going into the season. I believe I picked the Vikings, and that was one of the reasons was I just didn't trust this team. those who've watched for any period of time know I don't trust him. Not a fan of Aaron Rodgers, but I just didn't see enough talent. They've run the ball a lot better than I thought, and I don't know. And I guess we can talk about it while we're here. I don't know why teams are doing that. We did it. We threw the ball 3 times. Teams keep getting inside the 5 and keep wanting to throw the ball. And I don't know how many interceptions you got to throw, Carson Wentz. I don't know. Like, I don't understand what happens. It's like they get into the inside the 10, inside the 5, and they just brain freeze. Like, you got A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones.
It's not that hard, man. Sometimes we overcomplicate things.
We've seen the Aaron Rodgers in that space on the field at the end of the game before, and you kept throwing it. And what are you like? 0-6 now in those scenarios? If you look at those 2 situations, and not a single pass had a chance.
And here's the other thing, Ray. The strongest part of your offense right now is your running game. So that makes it even worse that you're not doing that.
It's just but the thing about it is, in almost all these scenarios, it's the same. The Ravens did it. They threw the ball. When you see what they did at the end of last night, they ran the ball. Lamar Jackson kept the ball in his hand. He basically ran down the field in that game. And it works. We don't got to overcomplicate stuff. I don't want to keep tying stuff back to the lack of preseason, but teams are not prepared. They haven't practiced situational football. We're seeing time management issues from a variety of coaches. Like, it's a mess.
Yeah, and I think that we're starting to see like that the NFL being a passing league, like it's starting to, we're going to have to start shifting away from that. And to your point, the teams that are controlling the ball on the ground are teams that are playing winning football, aka the Cowboys.
And that's the key when you got people like Micah Parsons. You can't pass the ball 50 times a game. That's 50 shots he got to hit your quarterback. That's not good math.
Yeah.
I don't
know. That's the other thing too, is that offensive lines we got a lot of suspect lines out here in this league right now. So
a bunch of them. And I don't know what the Rams are doing. I saw Aaron Donald play DN for 2 plays. Why in the world ain't he out there all the time? Or at least, in pass rushing situations, because y'all got to do something. And it was just dynamic to see him come off the corner. Juju with a drop. It's up at 17-0 in Kansas City for the Vegas Raiders. And we've seen Kansas City do this. Who they lose to? Who was their loss to? They had a bad loss. Whoever the loss is, I forget who it was, but I'm pretty sure it was a bad loss.
Give me a second. I'll look it up.
But it just, I enjoy football. I do. But I watched Lamar just blow 3 plays last night.
Oh, yeah. He overshot some guys.
And I just keep seeing it. Just bad. Tom Brady said it's been a bunch of bad football. And that's just not, like, it's exciting because the scores are close, but it's hard to watch when the execution is this poor. Gallup had a drop. CD had a drop. We've seen drops from a lot of different receivers, just routine stuff. And that is just, I don't know. It's been a little difficult to watch, and forgive me, I am watching the Commanders a lot, but just when I look around at some of these games, and then the refs are scared now. I guess we can talk about, because I didn't have it as a topic, but what are we doing? Roughing the passer? Y'all might have just robbed Atlanta. I don't know. That would have been difficult. I don't know if Mariota could have went and got a touchdown. But if that
never got the chance, that's for sure.
If that's where we're going, man. I was listening to Shannon Sharp break it down. It's like, you can't fall on them. You can't just pull them down, because that could be a horse collar. You can't slam them. You can't land on them. You can't hit them high. You can't hit them low. Like,
just put the red jersey on them. That's where we headed.
Man, what a run. Oh, he broke free. What a run. I don't know who that is. Number 1, I can't see his name.
McKinnon.
Yeah. That was a strong run.
It was.
They
needed that too. Yeah.
Yep, they need that. Because, man, try to look at Travis out there getting some blocks. Trying at least. Got it done.
Got in the way.
Hey, sometimes that's all you got to do.
That's it.
So yeah, we'll keep it moving from there. We all took that L. That was, of all the games, I was probably the most confident in that. But
yeah, I'm sure that killed a lot of survival pools this week.
Oh yeah, parlays as well. Early morning, trust me. Before you even got to church, you already lost your money. So the next game, I previewed it. I told you I said it's going to be entertaining. I didn't know what it would be, but Gino, he keep trying. We had a Kenneth Walker sighting for the first time this year. But Taysom Hill got it done. Speaking of bad play, that game was not at the highest of qualities, but it was entertaining. Blown coverages.
A lot of big plays.
A lot of bad tackling. But New Orleans pulled it out, and that NFC South division is still
wide
competitive. Still very competitive. Panthers have made a change. We'll get to that in a minute. And we just keep getting the best of the best jobs, don't we? Like I said, we'll get there. My homeboy with a nice pass to, looks like Valdez Scantling. They're inside the 10. Let's see what kind of plays they run.
Right.
How many run plays we get down here.
Exactly.
But
I need my man Clyde Edwards-Helaire to get a touch, man. I'm down in fantasy. I need him.
Now I got him as an any down touchdown scorer, so that'd be great for me. I think it's DraftKings and FanDuel, one of them. But yeah, so that game didn't expect that. And another surprise, and I said this to start the year, and I don't think people remember, so it's not a big deal. I said 2 teams. I said Jacksonville, and I said if Zach Wilson starts for the Jets, they will be a potential problem. I didn't think they could beat the Bills for certain, but I thought they'd be right there. They made a lot of moves in the offseason, solid moves. And now he's back. Got Flacco out of there in a dominating fashion. Granted, Jacoby Brissett went out, and we'll get to that whole handling of that new situation.
Teddy Bridgewater.
What did I say?
Brissett,
yeah. Touchdown, Edwards-Helaire.
Let's go. Thank you.
Well, we'll see if he was touchdown and kind of rolled in. It's going to be.
We're going to review it, so we'll see.
Yeah, hopefully. Let me see. I was trying to see the replay. He caught it definitely short, and I don't think it's going to count.
He didn't get touched, though.
Nah, it's close. I don't know if it's dispute or what is it? Indisputable. Or
I think they're going to give it to him. Yeah, I don't think it's.
Oh, no, he touched his shoulder. They got to back the other side view. You'll see it. He touched his right shoulder.
Oh, yeah, he sure did.
He's super down. So he's actually short. Dang. Now you see they throwing the ball. Watch they throw the ball again. They're at the 1. They're not going to run it. They're going to throw the ball because man, let's see Andy Reid or Kansas City might run some reverse shovel inside unnecessary.
Right. They like the trickeration. Yeah.
The kicker might come out and take a snap when quarterback take it. Like who knows what they about to do. Edwards-Helaire is on the sideline. It looks like so that's great. It's 3rd and I don't know. I can't. Looks like they're walking off the field or walking back on. I can't.
No, it's 3rd and goal. They're walking back on the field, and of course Edwards-Helaire is on the sidelines.
Yeah, they left him over there. Dang. Way to go, Andy, you jerk. So yeah, next we like I said, I like the Jets and what they got going. That division is going to be tough for the future. Did y'all have that game on down there?
No, we had Tampa and Atlanta,
Travis Kelce touchdown. I'll take that.
of
I'll take.
course, and that's who I'm playing against, of course.
Oh, that's I got him.
Of course, I just lost 6 points, and my opponent got 6 grade. Actually, 7 with the point per possession per
catch.
reception.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
What can you do? I didn't even check. I'm down in quite a few. I had some. I'm whatever that is. I won that one. Let me see. I am down 7. I have Kelce. He has Waller playing, and with that touchdown, I'm down 7. So Waller is no catches, no yards. So hopefully that can continue. That'd be great. And another touchdown or 2 out of Kelce. He only got 3 catches for 11 yards. Speaking of the Dolphins, I'm definitely going to have to revisit Jalen Waddle in my starting lineup because that offensive passing game with no Bridgewater, they just.
But I mean, to be fair, that's your third quarterback, so
I get it, and I respect it, but I got to act accordingly as the owner and GM of my team.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You gotta come sit over here, buddy.
Come talk to me.
We a little deep on the bench. I got Montgomery, Breece Hall, Miles Sanders, Chris Olave, Melvin Gordon. I can swap some things in there. Jalen, you gotta sit down. But Jets got it done. Tampa Bay, Atlanta. We talked about it. Brady escapes. He escapes. But I am officially concerned about Tampa Bay. I don't really know what's missing. I know they've been rotating a lot of people in and out. Brady's putting up big numbers, but they're not scoring. And the defense is keeping them in games, but I feel like it's there, but it's just not.
Mm-hmm.
It's not doing what it's supposed to do. So I don't know. Who did you have? Did you have them winning the division? Now you had this.
No, I had Tampa, I think.
NFC South. Now you have the Saints.
Oh yeah, you could be right. Yeah, you could be right. Yeah, I said this was finally the year.
Actually, everybody got Saints except me. I got the
Bucks. Yeah. I said this finally the year that
we all got the Rams too. Whew. See about that. We're such experts. So I do want to we'll go back to the Dolphins game. And there was a bunch of there was a big headline that came out saying NFL have agreed on a new concussion protocol. Lovely. But there was no real details that I saw about what changed or what they did. And so in that game, obviously I had vested interest with Jalen Waddle. Brissett went out with he got hit. He passed the test.
Bridgewater.
10%.
Because I think he got knocked out too, didn't
he? He did. Yeah. But Teddy Bridgewater got knocked out, passed the test from what I heard, but then the spotter wouldn't let him go back in the game. Like I don't understand what the new process is. Why do you even have to do the test if the person can still say no? And from a competitive standpoint, having that much power in one person's hands, if that's how it's being run, that seems, I know they agreed to it, but that seems problematic.
Yeah, I think it's just an overreaction. Well, I shouldn't say overreaction, but I think because it was handled so badly, now they're, super hypersensitive about it and super hyper focused on it. So, anything that even shows a sliver of looking like a concussion is going to take the highest precaution. So I think that's what that was.
And I get that. But we started the show with the play on the field has been pretty poor. And a lot of the people taking the big concussions are quarterbacks. So there has to be some kind of balance. Like, and again, I get the Tom Brady penalty call because you don't want to wheel him down because it was a similar tackle to how Tua got banged.
Mm-hmm.
Get it. But we can't overcorrect. Well, the NFL always overcorrects, but
They always do.
it's just really taken away from the experience, and I didn't like that. Like divisions are being decided, like that's a big game, and if the person, whoever on the field said it, we all right. Who's the other guy? What makes him so much better? Like I just.
And I thought the spotter was the kind of like the eye in the sky where they're supposed to be, looking at guys on the field. Like, how would he be able to rule him out if he's not down there doing the test? I don't get that at all.
I don't know. And that's why I was hoping we would get some more information, but I haven't heard how that makes sense or why. Or like I said, if that's the case, once he says you're out, that I guess that's it. It's almost, I don't know. I didn't like that. Yeah. So in NFL news, we have a coach who's now been fired. We have a quarterback who seems like has been benched. And they're saying it's an ankle injury, but Baker says he's getting a second opinion. Maybe he doesn't feel it's as bad as they're saying it is. We'll get to another quarterback who might have an injury that may or may not be as bad as they say it is. And make sure you get a full week of practice. Got to get that full week, So Carolina, what do you? Whoa! Why did I tackle the ref? Carolina, they fired Matt Rule. Matt Rule coached at Temple, so understand that as a person who attended Temple, Matt Rule has a special place in my heart. He helped put Temple football back on the map. Now that it's kind of fell off the map again, but for a moment we were like relevant, and it was nice to see that we were getting TV games and stuff. But I did not think this was going to be a good idea. I don't think anybody really thought he was qualified to take that big jump. And
to get 7 years. A 7-year contract?
If you give him 7, then you're expecting it to be bad. Like that's the point of giving someone 7.
Right.
You know it's going to take a while.
Yep, exactly.
You haven't given him a quarterback to win with. The talent's been all right. Woo! Devontae got smacked.
Yeah, it took one.
He took that.
Yeah, I don't.
He looking for the flag. I don't know. There's some kind of discussion going on.
No, I think they're trying to decide whether or not it's a catch.
Oh, a catch and a fumble. Let's see. Catch 1, 2, 3. He puts it away. No, that's a fumble. That's a catch and a fumble to me.
Oh, definitely, without question.
So yeah,
it's fumbled out of bounds though.
Yeah, so as I say, it's a first down. So I get it. Ooh, them cleats is all right too, buddy. I seen them. Yeah, some cool ones. So yeah, they got it right. First down, completion and fumble out of bounds. Big hit, but ultimately a win, and then back to the ground. I like it. But yeah, what's next? Steve Wilks, they put in that job. Can't say it's a great job. They will have a bunch of salary cap after this year because neither quarterback I expect to be back.
Right.
Apparently,
draft pick. You figure you go with you draft one of the quarterbacks.
Teams are calling for players. You may have a couple people, a running back, a receiver or two that's available. So you can get some compensation back. McCaffrey you should probably get a lot of compensation. DJ Moore and others, maybe not as much, but you have a potential in a division that should be wide open next year. I think we all hope and pray Tom Brady retire and try and salvage the rest of his life. New Orleans is not solidified. The rumor of Sean Payton coming back, maybe, but outside of that, no. And then Atlanta's Atlanta. Like Kyle Pitts is starting to look like that B word. And I'm not talking about a female dog.
Mm.
I like the talent, but maybe it's the quarterback. But the production is not there. And maybe that's partly Ridley's fault, but I'm not seeing difference maker. I'm not seeing any of that. So hopefully they can figure that out here soon. But your thoughts on as far as what Carolina should do is where do they go from here?
Well, it's hard to even try to this. I'm just it's just a guess at this point because you could go a bunch of different ways. Since you got all this cap room, you could continue this rebuild and bring in another young coach, or you could bring in an established coach and basically give him the reins, i.e., Sean Payton, somebody that has the resume to to say that they should be involved in terms of helping to build this franchise. So there's a bunch of different ways you could go, and other, to your point about Steve Wilks, I'm glad he's getting the opportunity, but of course, we always he got the short end of the stick in Arizona. Now it seems like he's getting the short end of the stick here in Carolina, but we got to still compete. So he's got to take opportunity and do the best that he can with it. But I don't know. Like I think if you are Carolina, like at this point, you might want to blow this thing up and look at trading McCaffrey, and then just see if you could just kind of do almost like a Dallas situation back in the day, kind of how Herschel Walker type of deals. I doubt that you could get that type of deal. But my point is that you get you trade him for a bunch of draft picks, and between that and your cap space, you can kind of rebuild your team on the fly. And you bring in I think you now I'm kind of talking this out. I think you do have to go with an established coach that's going to be able to build the culture, because it seems like they don't really have a plan there. So you got to have somebody that's going to be an architect, somebody that's going to that has a proven plan and that's worked before in terms of building a franchise. And Sean Payton, like he basically New Orleans. We know what New Orleans was before he got there and after he left. So I think that he's going to be the prime candidate for that opening.
Makes sense. If you're him, and I guess
he held on to it.
Cooper Rush has kind of messed it up because that job doesn't look like it's going to be opening anytime soon, given the success. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I don't know how the ball came out.
Or flag. I gotta wait to see what this flag is.
Yeah, because I don't say the Chiefs came out with it. But I guess if I'm coming out of retirement, I want to come out of retirement for that job.
Yeah.
I guess is the question.
And there's going to be other, of course, we know there's going to be other openings. We know there's always other openings, and every offseason there's multiple job openings. So he's going to have his pick.
Yeah. So hopefully I'll take him up here. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I bet that could definitely be another potential opening.
And that's I don't care what y'all say. That's a good job. You get a quarterback in there, that's a good job with a lot of young talent. Just got to deal with the owner. He's not the best. But personal foul, roughing the passer.
Yeah. So that drives to the left.
How?
I'm trying to look at it and see now. What are we doing, man? Just because he landed on him? What is he supposed to do?
You're a little bit ahead of me.
Yeah, they called roughing the pass. All he did was tackle the guy and landed on him. I can't.
The ball is out. It's a fumble.
It's the fact that they call this a roughing the passer, though. There's nothing there that says that was roughing the passer.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's out of control.
That's a game-changing play.
Yeah.
That's a strip sack and recovery. I'm trying to see the yard line. But that's almost they'd be, I think, almost in the red zone. Wow.
Yeah, this is gonna have to be revisited in the offseason. Because this ain't it.
You think you can get through the if this was a playoff game?
Oh my gosh. But you can't do anything now.
They just did. Clearly, there's been an emphasis put on these roughing the passer calls post Tua. So they got to find
you got to. Well, but I think that was more so. Well,
not these.
So
this is ridiculous.
I don't know.
This is a crime.
Yeah, I can't.
This might be worse than Brady only because the ball's free.
And he just tackled the guy and landed on him. There was nothing there that says roughing the passer.
Kenny, he didn't tackle him. He technically got tackled. He had the ball.
Yeah, I can't figure it out.
Wow, that was bad. And they about to go to halftime too. Don't turn away from us to hear what they have to say. It's good. We covered it already. But man, that's tough. That's really tough. That's a little grab there, but man. Man, that's
and then they can mess around and get points out of this. Like this could be like almost a 10-point swing.
100%. They're definitely in range. Like, man. And it's in Kansas City. That's just a slap in the face.
Boy,
they're gonna have to
for the cops are that's working this game tonight. They're gonna earn their money.
Yeah.
That's a strip sack all day long.
All day long. I don't know how they got to that. At all. That ain't right.
No, not at all.
All right. So, on to other things. The old adage, you cannot lose your job when you are hurt, is what they used to tell us. Coach Kenny, I believe Jerry Jones is rewriting the book and the unwritten rules. Please explain to us, when will we see Dak back under center in Dallas?
I'm gonna say in 2 weeks. I don't think we see him this week. I think we see him the following week. And I'm just pulling up the schedule right here.
After Philly.
So we got Philly into the line. Yeah, that's perfect. You give him another week, give him a nice soft touch against Detroit and the Bears. You got 2 weeks to kind of get them back up to speed, and then you go into this stretch of the Packers, Vikings, and the Giants. So I think you see Cooper Kupp, one more week of Cooper Kupp, and then we'll see Dak back. But having said that, he still has to, show that he's sufficiently healed. He's got to show that he can grip the ball. He's got to show that he can, pass all of the tests in terms of saying that he's healthy enough to play quarterback. Well, yeah, I say 2 weeks. We see him against the Lions.
And so you're basing that off of them winning or losing to the Eagles? Or you're saying either way?
I say either way.
You think he could beat the Eagles with Cooper Rush and you would bench him? You will destroy that team.
Money talks.
Y'all will revolt.
But having said all of that, let's not get carried away with Cooper Kupp. He completed 10 passes yesterday. But this game was not won because of Cooper Kupp.
But it wasn't lost because of Cooper.
It wasn't. But you know what this is showing? What this is showing is that, and this is what's showing Dak, is that you don't have to throw the ball 35, 40 times a game. It's also showing Kellen Moore. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't got to be cute with all of these gadget plays and all these shifts in formation and all of this trickeration nonsense. Just line up the guys and let's put our best line against theirs, and let's start moving some bodies. Because this is what we're doing is playing physical football, and that's what's winning us games. Yeah, on both sides of the ball.
I agree with that. I don't know. As somebody used to play long time ago, sports is so superstitious. Like,
fair enough.
You got routines, like I get the money part, but let me tell you something. If Dallas, you missed him. Dang, you missed him. If Dallas gets hot, God forbid they were to win a Super Bowl, God Almighty, there would be no limit to money. Like, the next year's ticket prices would probably double. Like, I don't think you mess with Mo. You got Mo.
No, I understand that. And I will say that Cooper Rush has made himself a whole lot of money.
Oh,
he's going to
who's that did that in Seattle that got all that money? It was a backup, and not Matt.
From Denver, the big quarterback that wound up getting all that money in Houston. I can't.
Not Osweiler. It was another
Osweiler. Oh, okay.
Matt Flynn. That's what.
Matt Flynn. Yeah.
Got hot.
Yes.
Paid.
Yes. Nick Foles is another one.
Nah, Foles won Super Bowl.
But I'm saying he got hot. You could pretty much say he got hot 1 year. And
yeah. But that's real hot. That's like you deserved hot. Same thing with Flacco. You deserve when you get that hot at that time.
Yeah.
Other guys didn't have that postseason success. It's gonna be interesting. You got to practice a full week. Got to get a full week of practice.
Yeah.
So once that gets a full week of practice, then we could reassess.
Right.
But you can't tell me CD, because I know you're saying he only threw the ball 10 yards, but they're doing all right.
Wow. He just hit a 59-yarder. That's big. That could be a big momentum swing.
Is this the he did?
Bang. And the Chiefs get the ball back. So that was big. So stay tuned. The Chiefs are not done yet.
Not dead yet. You know, the Raiders will Raider.
Right. And that call might galvanize them as well.
Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that. Okay, there we go. All right, so we got halftime here. We got 2010 Vegas Raiders here on the road. A lot of momentum, but maybe they stole some back. The Chiefs, that is, with a long field goal. So definitely a good thing for them there. But we do got to get to the Aaron Jones situation. I know we talked about the running and his comments. In your opinion, and I should have had this pulled up real quick if I can get to it without too much dead time. Okay, said I'd put money on it. As far as, let me get the full quote. I'd put money on giving me or AJ Dillon 2 downs to get 2 yards. I'd put my money on it. But at the same time, I'm not the quarterback. So I don't know what A-Rod is seeing. This obviously comes on the heels of an embarrassing loss. Let's just call it what it is. I know what the Giants' record is, but you know what you're supposed to do if you're Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay.
Right.
It's an embarrassing loss. In the way you lost. You had a chance to win and could not. I don't even think the ball made it into the end zone again, or past the line of scrimmage for that matter, for almost 2/3 of the plays. If you're Aaron Rodgers, is this a shot at me, or how are you feeling at this moment if you're Aaron Rodgers hearing Aaron Jones say that?
No, Aaron Rodgers, you just go brush it to the side. But I think it's definitely something to it. The fact that he's putting this on the record and saying that, like, yo, you have the final call. I don't care what comes in through the headset. You got the final decision as to who gets the ball. So the fact that you
That's how you
are,
restructured your deal.
yeah. So, like, it's definitely a shot, no, without question. So, and again, we touched on it a little earlier. This speaks to some accountability, some communication issues, some leadership issues. Like there's a whole bunch of things going on, a whole bunch of different dynamics going on that this doesn't look good. This doesn't look good at all. Like they got to go get on the same page.
We definitely agree on that. I don't know, man. Like, I just don't understand Aaron Rodgers. Like, I just don't get it. Like, I don't know if it's like just I know he's an arrogant individual, but I just don't understand. Like, I see the skills, you see the talent, and it's just like something just misses. Like he just doesn't perform when you need him to perform the most. And even on the play calls, from what I saw, like I don't even know where he was trying to go. Like I don't know. Something obviously is wrong in Green Bay. I felt that way when Devontae got up out of there, and the way he left was telling for me. All the receivers leaving was telling for me. And now we got running backs complaining. And it goes back to this offseason when I was like, I didn't understand why they gave him all the money. Like we've seen who he is time and time again. I didn't understand then, and I definitely don't understand now why you rewarded that behavior. And I guess they got what they deserve, but it sucks for some of the players.
But I think that they didn't anticipate losing Davante Adams. I think they gave him that money thinking that they were going to get Davante Adams back, and they were going to. Well, wow! Look at here, my man Jay. What's happening, my brother?
I couldn't let Ray down.
I appreciate that.
I had to hop on. I had a couple minutes to spare. I just got off work and whatnot, so didn't mean to interrupt or intrude in the situation.
Not at all. You always welcome, my brother.
Always.
Come on now.
But I'll go ahead and address the situation.
We'll get to you one second. We're going to talk about this Aaron Rodgers. We talk about Aaron Rodgers and the issues in Green Bay. With Aaron Jones and all that stuff. But I was just saying that I thought that I think they thought that they were going to run it back one more time. I don't think they thought that Davante Adams was going to leave. And so that's why they gave him that money, thinking that they were going to pair him with Davante Adams and make one more run at it. And then I think losing him caught them off guard because there was no plan B because you see, the inexperience of the rest of the guys that they have. So I just think they weren't prepared for losing Davante Adams, and that's what we're seeing. And we're seeing the importance that he was or how important he was to that offense, how he made everything go because all these other parts now it's just not nearly as productive. So it's problems in Green Bay.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Jay.
To that note, I agree with you. I think that Green Bay, one thing about that organization is as we've seen with, back in the day with Brett Favre, he stayed. He was just loyal. And even Antonio Freeman, and what was the running back's name back then?
Dorsey Levens was one.
Levens. Mm-hmm. They were just so loyal to the team. And, then you transition to Aaron Rodgers, and you're seeing the same pattern within Aaron Rodgers, where he's more loyal to the team than I think the team is to him. And I mean that in the standpoint of, no, honestly, and I mean that in the standpoint of, if you're loyal to this guy and you want him to win and you want him to be the best talent that he could be on the field at that time, you're going to go out and get him offensive weapons. You're going to go out and get him the things that he needs on the field to be successful. And I think that Aaron Rodgers was more loyal to Green Bay because time and time again, we've seen no improvement with wide receivers, no improvement just in offense and in general in that standpoint. So
hold on. Tell me the season before this where Aaron Rodgers didn't have a top 5 wide receiver.
No. See, that's a skewed point of looking at it.
What
because we
can find value in the first round. If we got you talent, he's had running backs his whole career.
But I'm not talking about running backs. I'm talking about primarily receiver position. You got Devontae Adams, but you needed a number 2. And how long have you needed a number 2? Forever.
They had Jennings and
Jennings was getting old. Jennings was getting old, and instead of going out and trying to find a guy that was going to take over the Jennings area, they said that we have Devontae and we're going to ride with Devontae, and that's what we've done. And they rode Devontae until the wheels fell off. And Devontae
championship games. You can't say that's their fault that they didn't get the talent was good enough to get there.
No, Aaron Rodgers and Devontae and whatever running back they had at that time were good enough to get there.
That's an amazing combination.
You're right, but we're trying to win a Super Bowl, and we know that every time we've gotten to this position, we could see clearly the area that needs the improvement. And time again, they did not provide that. I mean, dude. We knew that
the highest paid player in the league, and I got to give you the top tier weapons. Why am I paying you that much money?
When they had Randall Cobb is when they went to the NFC Championship, right?
Randall Cobb was there, yeah.
Okay, and then they let him go, right?
Yeah.
And then after Randall Cobb left, wasn't that a huge void? Huge.
But to be fair, Jay, you had Jordy Nelson. But
Jordy Nelson didn't pan out.
But no,
Jordy Nelson was a bowler.
Oh yeah. My bad. I'm mistaken when Jordy left went to the other team. Yeah, but we transitioned from. It was never 1-2 with Green Bay. They always had a strong one.
Nelson and Jennings all together at one point. They've had different tight ends at different points. They've had running games. They've had Devontae.
Yeah,
running game is different.
I think the issue was that it was the defensive side of the ball for a few years.
Right, because they was giving up 50 points to the Cardinals in a playoff game.
I don't think it was the offense. I think it was the defense. So
if you would have gave Tom Brady the weapons that Aaron Rodgers had in his career at skill positions, what do those numbers look like?
Now that's skewed.
Let's not go
again.
There.
That's scary again because I think that we're gonna dive into Tom Brady. We're gonna dive into the Belichick in the offense and the way things ran.
That is not a pass-friendly offense.
No, I think that Belichick, is that guy.
I gotta stand here and stand on it. We was killing New England. I was killing New England. They hanging around. They figuring it out. I don't know who this dude is that's playing quarterback. I ain't never.
Are we really getting that excited about the beating the Lions?
I thought the Lions were going to be good when we were competitive. I thought the Lions were going to be good this year. Not good. That's not true. I thought they were going
even after they gave up 100 points or whatever it was.
I thought they would be okay. I thought they would be okay, and they're trash.
I wonder how many like seriously. That was like a Madden. Did you see the averages of people in that game? Like the box score. Go back to the box score of that Lions. What was it? Lions versus Seahawks or something like that.
No, that's Lions versus the Patriots. That was the Seahawks in New Orleans that had the crazy stat line.
The almost 100 points combined.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you look at that game? That box score. My bad. I didn't mix it up. I thought it was the Lions for some reason. But that box score was crazy.
Was it?
Man. It was like a Madden box score. They combined for almost 100 points.
Josh Allen's numbers in the first half looked like something out of Madden.
The 386?
Yeah.
Oh my God. That was ridiculous.
Davis.
And listen, since we're talking about Buffalo, if they somehow are able to pull a deal for Christian McCaffrey,
It's a
look
wrap.
out.
I've heard that they're talking.
It's a wrap. Imagine
Sure.
Christian McCaffrey only having to run a third of the time he does right now.
But the question is, what do you give up for him?
Pretty decent because Singletary's solid. So
I don't
Yeah,
care.
you're gonna have to give up. He's not coming cheap. You're gonna have to give something up. So it all depends on what they have to give up.
NFL trades don't be like NBA trades to me.
It depends. It depends on who you're talking
Like
about.
we've seen some big ones, but I just think for McCaffrey, the value is going to be low.
I don't
Like,
think
I
so.
don't think so. I
gotta-
think they're going to
you
I
want the
think
moon and
minimum
the
2
stars.
first rounders.
You
Yeah,
got to eat the big deal that he's still on.
That's
And
fine.
he's coming off an injury history and he hasn't been lights out this year. If I'm Buffalo and I think it's risky. I'm not. I'll give you some picks because I think my picks are going to be trash for the foreseeable future as long as Josh Allen here. So
But that's the thing. They're gonna have to give up Singletary. They're gonna have to give up multiple picks, and maybe that'd be good.
yeah.
But
I'm not
I
settling.
think-
If I'm Carolina, I'm not settling for no less than multiple high, either first 1 or 2s. You gotta give up
I need
multiple.
2 firsts. I'm gonna ask for 2 firsts and a third.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you start high and then you work your way down to a middle
Yeah,
ground.
but if I'm Buffalo, I ain't giving you
Plus
two-
Singletary,
I'll give you
and-
like the first
and you
two
eating the
thirds.
whole contract.
Well, I mean that goes with it.
Yeah, that.
Well,
Because
you know,
it's not like the NBA where you got to match salaries. You just have to fit it under your
and I
cap.
think he's
well, you seen like the Baker situation where they Cleveland took off some of that, and they took
Right.
over some of that
Right,
even with
right.
it. So
Right.
I mean, I just think that to Ray's point, normally, I think in a situation like this, if we're not talking Christian McCaffrey, I think to your point, yes. The team trading the Panthers would have to eat some of the contract. I think that a first round and a second would be suffice, and yeah. But we're talking about Christian McCaffrey. We're talking about a guy that, when healthy, is top 3-4 running back in the league. We're talking about a guy that yes, yeah,
top 3.
yeah, 3 or 4 minimum.
Okay.
Dude, the dude's a workhorse.
Well, I mean, when he was healthy, yes. Now,
Yeah.
So post injury
that's
healthy is
debatable.
different. But
Yeah, no, that's why I said when healthy, we're talking about a top 3 to 4 running back in the league.
Yeah.
And I mean, dude, you look at your running backs. You got like a Derrick Henry, which is amazing. I love Derrick, but Derrick's one-dimensional in a sense. He does what he does, and that's what it is.
He's gotten better catching the ball out of the backfield, but of course, he's more, he's better as a runner, no question about it.
But he's also north and south when he's running the ball. He
Yeah.
doesn't do many speed.
Hey,
There's none of that.
With that size coming downhill, you ain't got to make too many moves.
yeah,
But you look at a guy like Alvin Kamara, and he could do everything in on the playbook. And I think that's what you're looking at with Christian McCaffrey, and that's what makes him so valuable to a team like Buffalo because of their dynamic, set of on offense already.
And he wouldn't have to do as much. He wouldn't have to carry so much of an offensive load, which could potentially cause him not to, the injury factor that might lessen the injury factor, the fact that he doesn't have to be utilized as much.
but
Right.
do you factor in location with somebody like him, or do you
What do you
think
mean?
like Buffalo in the
Cold?
fall and winter?
No,
For a
because
small
of the
back,
usage.
maybe. But that's the one missing
I mean,
piece. that
Shady
Buffalo
adopted,
has.
and Shady was great up there. So
And I was going to say that that's the piece that they're missing. They are, a RB1 away from basically, being the
Everything.
team to beat.
Right. And you know what? I'm glad you said LeSean's name, because that's a perfect example. When LeSean came over there, there was the same thing. They were like, he's injury prone. He did this, he did that. But remember, Philly was working the hell out of LeSean like Carolina was working the hell out of Christian.
he was getting some touches.
Right.
Mhm.
So if you switch
That's a
it
great point.
and you look at it the way Buffalo was even using them then, I think they're going to use them less than they used LeSean.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see.
I think it'd extend his lifespan.
Well, that's a great
Possible.
transition since we're talking about lifespans.
Oh,
Jay, I
God.
was just curious, what is the lifespan of the Arizona Cardinals playoff picture this year?
All right, so I wish I was on here before week
Pat
1 of
Mahomes
the
just hit
season.
Edwards-Helaire in the helmet.
Right upside the head.
Yeah, I got. So
Kyler used to do that.
no, but here I'm gonna lay it out like this.
I'm out the way.
Seattle's is the pivotal game. These last 5 weeks, they matter, of course. I'm not going to try to minimize or diminish it, but they don't matter in the same time. What happens next week is everything that this block, this 5-week block so far. What happens next week will solidify what's going on. If we beat Seattle, none of this matters. We were expecting and we were hoping to come out of here 500 before Hopkins came back.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Correct. The one thing that hurts the most out of this is we should have beat the Eagles. Hands down, we should have beat the Eagles. There was multiple situations before we got to the elephant in the room we'll talk about. But before we got to that last drive, there was multiple situations in that game that I think that went the wrong way. They stole an interception from us. That was an interception. That fumble was also a fumble. And I know a lot of people said on TV that, live, that he was throwing the ball forward. No, he had the ball here, got hit, and his arm went forward. Fumbled the ball. That was a fumble. So now that's no excuse to what the elephant in the room is. Let's talk about that last drive. Kyler missed Ertz on a 20-yard, 15-yard, wide open pass. That, before we get to everything else, that was the biggest thing out of it to me. That play, there was no pressure. He was in the freaking pocket. He was not moving. You're supposed to hit that is supposed to be a catch. That changes everything else from the beginning. Before we even get everywhere else, that I think was the third play of the drive. That play changes the whole landscape. He catches the ball. We're out of bounds. It's 1st and 10 again. I think that put us at 3rd down. And then he had to end up scrambling after that. The clock was running. A lot of things happened after that. So that play to me was one of the most pivotal parts of that drive. Now, let's get to the scramble, which, remember, before the scramble of the slide, Kyler had just scrambled and dove head first. Just scrambled and dove head first. Then we have the first where he goes, and the 2nd down play where he goes and he slides. Honest opinion, Kyler thought he had a 1st down. You made a mistake. That's cool.
I would say he slid pretty early to think he had 1st down.
But I still think, and I agree with you.
He could have waited. Like, I obviously don't want to take a shot, but I think he could have got another 2 steps in and still been pretty clean because he's a great slider.
He could have.
Quarterback slider.
Yeah, I mean, he played baseball, so.
Dude, he could have hit him with one of those fake slides right then and probably got a little extra half an inch. Because he does that a lot. He'll fake it and see their movement, and then they didn't move. So
and just a quick update, Jay. The Kansas City's drive when they're 1st and goal at the 5.
Okay.
Yeah,
but
that's dealing.
But I still, in Kyler's head, I think that he really thought he had the 1st down.
Update. It looks like they've taken Edwards-Helaire out of the game, and they did that dumb shovel to Kelsey. But whatever. Sorry, we were talking about.
Was it hurt?
No, teams get down in the red zone.
The second time they're taking them out,
and they start throwing the ball.
I don't understand it. They miss Darrell Williams. They really do.
They do.
Because that was their little trickster when they got around those areas. So again, I think in his head he thought he had the 1st down. Okay, I'm gonna stop there again because now this is Cliff's job. Cliff, I would be freaking screaming. You do not hike the ball. What are you doing? What's your play? What's your plan? Like I feel like communication was off there. Then you end up spiking the ball. I don't give a darn, guys. I was there an hour before kickoff. Amendola missed every kick past 30 yards wide right. I promise you. Every kick for 40 minutes. Every kick past 30 yards was wide right. At one point, I think he was kicking like a 42 or 43-yard field goal. He moved that mug all the way to the left hash and still missed it wide right. So
another touchdown for Kelsey.
Kelsey's bad. But then you get fired from the Sunday miss game winner in Kansas City. You miss everything in the pregame. Kyler, you know this. Cliff, you know this. There's 1 yard. Man, put it on the line, bro. Can we get a quarterback sneak? Can I get a something at this point?
I've just taken the lead.
So it's your issue with So Jay, is your issue more with Kyler or is your issue more with Kingsbury?
It's a combo. It's a combo.
50-50?
Yeah. It's 100% 50-50. Because Kyler, you messed up. Period. There's no way around that. You messed up. You slid. Ray, we know he could have got a couple of steps in. We both agree. Yes, he probably would have took a little bit of a hit, but we know that he can get down and slide. So you could have even baited them into a penalty.
Oh, Jay, this is my question I wanted to ask. What did Kyler say post-game? What was his explanation for the spike part?
He didn't. There was no explanation. They said they made him, you know, if they did, I missed it. I'll be perfectly honest. If they did, I missed it.
That question should have been asked 10 times. Everybody in the country should know why he slid.
Honestly, no. Cliff should have answered the question.
Cliff can't how would Cliff know?
No, Cliff should know. The original question you asked me was about the spike.
Yeah, the spike.
Cliff should have answered that question.
I mean, the headset probably cuts on. Is he yelling, don't spike, or do you think it was yelling?
You better be.
But I don't know how the helmet, because it cuts off within like 50 after 50 when you get down to like 15 seconds. Mm-hmm. So in a hurry up situation, does it cut on after the slide or does it not?
Now that part, those logistics, the impression that I'm under is that once they blow the whistle dead, it comes back on.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But here's the problem with this. And I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong if this already happens. But in that type of situation, does his stuff tap into the head coach?
No,
because they're moving so quick. There's probably about a 3 to 4 second delay between when the coach, maybe a 2 second, maybe I'm exaggerating, but from when the ref grabs the ball, marks what he says, you know, fourth down, whatever, until when the sideline rep turns it to fourth down for the coach to be able to see what the call is, if it's not just blatantly visible.
I guess my question in that, and this is where I guess I'll kind of try and sympathize with Kyler. Let's assume he thought it was first down. Or when he slid, let's assume he thought he got the first down when he slid. Is that not something that he's supposed to check or confirm before snapping the next ball? He should be looking at the sideline, looking at the ref. Shouldn't somebody be alerting him, holding up 3 or like?
That's why I'm at 50-50.
And that part is the sideline supposed to be doing that.
That's why I'm at 50-50. Because I give Kyler his thing. I give Kyler his fault. You slid early. You spiked the ball. You messed up. You should know where we're at.
And I'll add to this, because I always hear how centers are so smart.
Where are you at? But Harlow is not our starting center.
I mean, you played a position. I just feel like there were so many people in that sequence, and everybody seemingly just drop the
Aaron
ball.
Rodgers ain't listening to no backup center. like it ain't happening.
He should, because he don't know what
Nah.
he doing. But
He ain't doing it. He ain't doing it. He ain't listening to backup center. Okay, but you got Justin Pugh. You have Will Hernandez. You have DJ Humphries. You have 3 other vets on that line. So I agree with you. Like, I agree that this is why I'm 50-50. Everything that you just said is 100% right. I put it on Kyler because, Kyler, you're the leader of all that stuff. You should know your nucleus. You should know.
the
They should be able to
off-season
communicate.
report makes this just look bad. I know there's no real correlation. I was trolling, but it just looks bad.
It does, but how do you study for that?
I mean, it's kind of like quarterbacks. I think Donovan McNabb. I didn't know the game could end in a tie. Like
That's studying.
certain stuff like this is situation. Either maybe it's not
Situational awareness,
studying,
yeah.
but you haven't been in this situation, whether it be in practice or in the film room, to know how to execute.
But that was bad judgment. It was judgment, not decision making. It was judgment because you judged the fact that you had the first down, didn't wait. You have 30 seconds. That's the other part that I give it to
They
50-50.
didn't need to rush.
No. You could have waited 3 to 5 seconds to figure out what you wanted to do. Here's the other thing with this. 4th and 1, bro. I'm telling you guys, I watched for an hour him miss wide right. It's 4th and 1. If we're going to miss wide right, run the ball. Let's end the game on the field that way, not with the ball in the third row, on the visitor sideline.
So, Jay, I have another question for you, and actually, just for both of y'all. I heard Skip talk about it today, and I agree to a certain extent. Kickers are so influential in outcomes of games.
100%.
Soccer is like the biggest sport in the world. How is it so hard to find 30 good, reliable kickers in the world?
Soccer ball ain't shaped like
I'm
a
about to
football.
say it's a whole lot easier to kick a soccer ball than it is to kick a football.
So, dedicate your life.
And the other thing, though, think about this. When you do a penalty kick in soccer, they don't move. They give you all the time you need to prepare for that kick, to aim it, to do how you need to do it.
And you got two sides of it. You got two sides of the goal that you
40 yards away to block it.
Uh-huh.
There's also a guy 40 yards away or 30 yards away that's standing in your way, blocking you from making it. My point is, you can't find people to kick the ball straight.
But it's not straight.
Think about it though. That how many franchise, like you got Vinatieri, you got Justin Tucker, you got, like I said, a handful of guys that are great kickers. It's just
I've been seeing people on YouTube kicking the ball from 80 yards.
Yeah, but are they kicking it 80 yards with a trajectory to make that thing go over 10 foot?
Are they in a stadium with 50,000 people screaming and hollering and wind swirling and all of that other good stuff?
And someone hiking the ball, putting it down, spinning it in the right direction, and making sure it's exactly right.
That part, if it's a bad snap or hold, I'm not blaming. Like you can't blame the Dallas kick. It hit the holder in the head and bounced away. Like that's not the kicker fault. These are makeable kicks. There's too many people in this world that we don't got 30 good kickers.
I'm gonna ask you this question,
and we can name Justin Tucker and Adam Vinatieri of like the history of football.
Can I ask you a question?
I mean, there's more. I'm just forgetting something.
I mean, but that is kind of like
You said who?
Brady and Manning.
You said who?
Vinatieri and Tucker.
And Elam and Anderson. And Morton Anderson.
Don't do that.
No, whoa. Morton Anderson was the man before the man was man. Morton Anderson was the man.
Yeah.
Morton.
And what was the dude with the stub foot? What was the dude with the stub foot?
Martin Gramatica?
No, he had a stub. This back in the 70s.
Norm.
Talking about.
I don't know.
His left foot was like he had a blocked left foot.
Either way,
He used to wear a special shoe. I'm gonna find him, man.
Hey, I'm gonna say this: if I'm Justin Tucker's agent, I'm waiting to see what y'all pay Lamar.
Moon and the stars.
Let me see what y'all pay Lamar, cause he might need. I'm not gonna say quarterback money,
fully
but
guaranteed.
he needs a raise. Whatever he gets.
No, you better go to like if Justin Tucker was that type of money, he got to go somebody like Washington, where it's 4th and 22 often.
Jay, it's cool. Y'all could use him too.
Hey, don't do us like that.
Like
he'll be our
we
boy.
actually
Will be
got
back.
a quality kicker this year. Brett Maher, keep doing what you're doing because Greg the leg was trash last year.
But we got a quality kicker too. He just got hurt.
Yeah, this is wild. And like we've had a bunch of kickers out here in Washington over the years. We had Hopkins; he was solid for a while, and then we let him go, and then he went to the Chargers and helped fix some of their problems.
And that's the other thing too, was that that's not a position that gets paid. So guys move around.
Why? They like
because there's so many other more important things that's going to take cap space.
We're watching it. We watch it every week.
But you know what though?
Kickers get coaches fired.
But you know what though? You go ahead and look at besides what the Patriots were doing back then. But you look at the teams with the best quarterbacks, they don't have the best kickers because they're expecting their quarterback to score. It's the ones
had good kickers.
Okay, Peyton and
Rodgers has had good kickers.
No, who's Aaron Rodgers had the most time? He had Cosby, but Crosby came, and before that they had an okay kicker. But Crosby was great, but they drafted Crosby, right? I think they drafted Crosby.
I don't know.
But
yeah,
and that's rare. You don't really draft like.
Yeah, we've had some draft.
So I think if you look at teams like
you said, Jason Elam, he was with Elway for a while.
But Denver wasn't always the best. Jason Elam was always there. And he was one of the best kickers always.
Prater has been good.
Matt Prater
yeah.
has been great, but he was in Detroit. Mm-hmm. And that's why he never got to leave Detroit, because they're always going to need a kicker.
But I just feel like if I'm a franchise, outside of my quarterback and my left tackle, if I can get anybody close to Justin Tucker, I pay him. Like, I'd almost rather have a knockdown kicker over a lockdown corner.
Well, you're crazy.
You're crazy, man.
Y'all ain't watching these games.
Hey, no, you ain't watched Devontae Adams and DeAndre Hopkins.
Guys getting
I see a whole lot of
10 catches for $150 and 2 touchdowns.
A whole lot of corners there.
No way.
Hey, did I just say?
No way.
Did I just say? Look at that box score for the other week.
Are you kidding me?
Come on, man. You saw what bad defense looked like.
You see what Stephon Diggs did a couple of weeks ago?
386 in the first half.
Would you rather have?
Oh man, no way.
Would you rather have an average kicker or an average corner?
An average kicker.
Average kicker.
You're gonna lose so many games.
No, not necessarily.
I'm not having that many games.
You're gonna get blown out. You're not even gonna get a chance to use your kicker, but if your defense is suspect, you're gonna get blown off the field.
Hey, Kitty, we down by 15. We taking this field goal?
What difference does that make? We down 2 scores. That field goal ain't helping us.
Hey, man, come on now. What's the average? What's the average corner going to do with Tyreek on the street?
Position. The kicker is never going to be a premium position.
What's the average? What's the average corner going to do with Tyreek on a streak?
Thank you.
Then you need to change your defensive game plan, because even your elite corners can't guard Tyreek. So if Tyreek's the example, then you need to roll your coverage.
Then we're gonna spend more money. I got you.
Average corner. You can't hide an average kicker.
That's why we're still not spending no extra money on the kicker, because we're gonna have to spend extra money on a safety to be in the back of that corner to help him out. And that's why that kicker ain't getting no money.
That's what I'm saying. You got too many other needs to make a premium on the kicker.
Get won and lost every week.
Kenny, how many
But
teams?
there's a reason why those games are that close.
And actually, yes,
it has a lot more to do with every other phase of the game.
Now I got to kick these long extra points. So
But
y'all
wait,
need to give me more.
How
but
many
extra
teams
points
do
I
you know
gotta
have a traditional fullback on their roster now?
Sure.
That's a false equivalency. Nobody cares about fullback.
No, but this is this is what I'm telling you.
Games
it's not a premium.
That's the point.
It's not a premium.
That's the point.
Side games. That's a premium.
But no, that's only if their quarterback and the offense didn't do their job.
There are extra.
You only go to special teams as a secondary.
Now you chasing points. What are you?
No, you go to special teams as a secondary.
If your offense can't finish off a drive, you're not going to win games kicking field goals. You can't win games kicking 5 field goals.
Yes, you can. What are you talking? Yes, you
got to score touchdowns. You got to more often than not. You got to score
5
touchdowns in this league than winning kicking field goals.
5 field. You can get that. You can get that 2 times in the end zone. You can make up for 5 field goals. Listen, it isn't efficient. It isn't a great way to win the game. Your special teams is just what they call it. Special.
The Raiders are raidering, just so everyone's aware.
They are.
Well, I'm
chase down.
Penalties.
I gotta jump off. My food ready, getting cold. I'm gonna go eat real quick.
Yeah, I appreciate you taking the time to come on.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap thank you for showing up and facing the music.
Yes, man. No, we definitely value you here.
Hey, I need to find more time. I miss y'all.
Yes, indeed.
No doubt. Anytime, man. Keep moving and shaking.
Have a good one, sir.
Talk to y'all shortly.
Yes, sir. So on to Washington. We'll get this out the way. Patrick Mahomes, they threw it again. They threw it again, and he gets
10-0. He's 10-0. He's 10 touchdowns, no interceptions. He's the exception to the rule.
Are you guys watching? Are you guys listening to what we're saying? How many times we got to go through this? No one runs the ball inside the 5. This is incredible. This is incredible. And this is what happens when you don't just run the ball. It's crazy. Absolutely nuts. Maybe they'll just throw it to Kelsey again. I'll take that. It looks like he was
right on cue. Touchdown, Travis Kelsey.
Did he really? He did.
Yep. Right on cue.
Yo, as soon as I get off here, I'm getting in this fantasy football group chat, and I'm going off. I'm going off. Plus, I'm done. Yeah, you gonna. Yeah. Oh yeah, you are playing. You are playing again. Yeah.
I'm done.
Who do you have playing?
Edwards-Helaire. I'm donezo.
That's how the cookie crumbles, man.
That's how it goes.
Travis Kelce, let me look at his last stat. This is one of the weirdest stat lines. I do want to give it to people because I don't think people realize what his current.
Yeah, I don't think he's got a catch of more than 10 yards.
No, he is 5 catches, 16 yards, and 2 touchdowns. No, I'm sorry. It updated. 6 catches, 24 yards, 3 touchdowns.
4 yards a catch.
4 yards a catch, but he has 3 touchdowns. His long is 8. So it's just one of them games. FanDuel knew it. They had a prop. Kelsey and Adams to go over 50 yards receiving. Of course, you think that's a gimme. Of course, Kelsey and Adams are going over 50. And here Kelsey stands at 24.
Oh, Vegas knows.
I don't know how they do it, man. I don't know how they do it.
No.
We boosted the odds and everything, suckers. But on to Washington.
I'm going to lay out here and let you have it.
What a disaster we have become. We have found a way to completely misuse all of our talent. We trusted, and I don't know who made the trade. They got to go. Them and Matt Rule should be on vacation together at this very moment. Whoever brain trust was involved with the trading trading for Carson Wentz. I don't know how many times I got to tell people. Ray Stradamus be knowing. Taylor Heineke was a better quarterback in our system than Carson Wentz. We had a cheap quarterback that was in a prove-it year, and we gave up draft capital to go get a guy that's proven to be incapable of getting it done. Not only is he not consistent at quarterback play, he's a terrible leader. It's documented. He is not a leader of men. And you trade and bring that in right as you're beginning to bubble. You got Antonio Gibson, young, talented running back. Brian Robinson looked great in preseason. He's now back. You just played Terry McLaurin. Curtis Samuel, quiet as his cup, has looked great this year. He's finally healthy. They use him in almost a Debo. We're using him almost in a Debo role, but no one really sees it because it's Washington. Then you have Logan Thomas, who's been a proven commodity at tight end. He's back. He's healthy. You got solid offensive line play. You got phenomenal defensive line play. You got average to below average secondary play, but that should be enough to be better than one win. You're in every game. And one of the wins we got was against Jacksonville. We should have lost that game. Trevor Lawrence just gave it to us. There is too much talent on this team at skilled positions to be this bad. We played Dallas and we become the undisciplined team with, and granted, I didn't like some of the penalties. I think they missed a couple grabs on my man Diggs. He kept touching my man Terry. And when they stopped calling it and let Cooper Kupp, and he had a quarterback that could get him the ball, voila. But when you constantly underthrow your receiver and you have a ball hawk of Diggs, what do you think will happen? But we got to start over.
Again?
Sean, yeah. Got to. Didn't work. You can't win without a quarterback unless you have an all-time great defense, and we don't have that. I think our defense is solid, but it still might be the worst in the division, and I think it's pretty good. Our division is full.
No, I think you guys are better than the Giants defensively.
Hey, Thibodeau, he's coming along.
Yeah.
They figured it out. That was a huge stop against a really good quarterback. That defense stood up and held, not even just in that moment, but throughout the game, they held him in check. That is a talented offense in a lot of places, just not necessarily a receiver. It's just not good enough. The play calling is not good enough. The game plan is not good enough. Brian Robinson just came back from getting shot 6 weeks ago. He had more carries than Antonio Gibson, who just went crazy. Like, I like Robinson. I had picked him up in a bunch of leagues, but Gibson's been playing well. He hasn't been fumbling in the regular season, really. Actually, I don't think he's fumbled in the regular season, to my knowledge. He fumbled in preseason and got benched, and that's when we started to see Robinson. But Carson Wentz is your quarterback. He's thrown the ball 38 times, and Antonio Gibson gets 3 carries for 6 yards. Carson got 5 carries. Robinson has 9. It's his first game back. Like, it makes no sense. Man. And then you got McKissick, more talent, a talented back. And I think he was supposed to sign in Buffalo and Reneg for like the same offer. I know he's kicking himself now.
Sure. Is he?
Like, I appreciated it as a fan, but in hindsight, man, it's tough, man. It's disappointing. It's going to be a long year. But we got some competition down there at the bottom. It ain't going to be easy to get one of these top quarterbacks. This is Jacobs.
Yeah, breaking off. Yeah, having a good night.
Yeah.
And of course, and here's the other thing that's a kicker. I benched him for Edwards-Helaire.
I did this. Was it this week? He's been pretty decent this year.
He has, but Edwards-Helaire had been really good so far this year too.
That's my other issue in the. I can't figure out. Part of my issue in the league, I was showing you that is I don't know if Darren Waller's hurt, but he has no catches.
Yeah, no, he's hurt. He's done.
Oh,
yeah, he's done. I think he said he hurt his hamstring.
Oh, perfect.
Oh wow, big sack.
Big sack.
That's a big sack.
Blown offensive assignment. They missed.
Yeah.
Somebody missed a bad one.
Yeah, that's a bad sack.
That the worst time. That's just that. Like you said, it's a bad sack. All right, so this is done then. So I can talk my trash now. I was keeping quiet because I didn't want him to pop off a little bit, but now I know I'm. He just blew. Why you stop running 66? What you pointing? It's too late.
It's what it is.
My bad, man.
My bad, dog.
Man, Vegas is done. They gonna be right down there with us.
Yeah, you got some company. Jacksonville.
But I like Jacksonville gonna figure it out. They have a lot of talent. They just got to figure it out. They do,
but that was a bad loss.
It was a bad loss, and I got to tell you, that quarterback play got to be better.
It does, and Christian Kirk is as fast as he started. He's come back down to earth.
Is it?
I don't. A couple of duds.
I would say, is it drops or is it quarterback play? Because I know.
I don't. He's not getting as many touches actually, especially yesterday. Marvin Jones was getting a lot of touches, so I think that the teams are starting to, focus the roller coverages to him.
Starting to get that.
So yeah, he's been getting, and Ingram was getting some touches too, and of course he had his usual drops, but that's Evan Ingram.
Yeah, that is Evan Ingram. Okay. We now have to turn, and we can, spend, I guess, the necessary time on this, and then we can get up out of here. Draymond Green has I don't believe I think we knew of it, but we didn't have the video on our last episode, I believe.
It came out that Friday, I want to say.
Video came out of Draymond punching Jordan Poole. Obviously, the social media world collectively went nuts. Draymond Green has since, I don't know if it's an official suspension, but he's away from the team. Jordan Poole, for what it's worth, played last night and played pretty well against the Lakers in preseason.
Yeah, he had a crazy move. That behind the back move was crazy.
So seemingly no worse for wear, but I guess we'll kind of react now that we've seen the video, we've seen the circumstances surrounding it. How do you feel about everybody's role in this and kind of what you've seen since?
And I'm just, as you were saying it, I was reading the report about Draymond being away from the team. I was just trying to browse it real quick because I hadn't a chance to read it. But it's an unfortunate situation. I think more is being made of it because of the leak. There's a lot of dust ups. There's a lot of fights that happen in practice, but we never actually see the footage of it. So I think that's what's causing this to be, kind of blown even more so, being blown up even more so. But it also speaks to the fact that, and I think this is why Draymond is taking his time away from the team. Like, he's always been an emotional player, but this kind of, may be the tipping point to where it seems like he's realizing that he's going to need to, do something about this. This is a problem. Like it's and also the Warriors have to take some accountability for this as well, because they kind of enabled this behavior for quite a few years, and now we've seen it, kind of boil over. So there's both parties here that take some responsibility, but the ultimate responsibility is on Draymond Green. As a leader, you're supposed to be one of the leaders of the team, and you can't. That's something that you can't do. You have to to be better than that. And you're a veteran in this league as well. So for something like that to happen to that point, that he it seems like now that he realizes that he's got something that he's got to get some help, or he's got to do some some self-evaluation or do some work on himself to get over these emotional outbursts, these emotional issues, or whatever the term is for what's going on with him. So having said all of that, at the end of the day, I'm sure he'll be back with the team at some point. And I'm sure that they'll talk it out as men, and I'm sure he'll do his apology. I'm sure he's probably already apologized to the team, and I'm sure they've had some type of communication. But maybe he'll be better for the situation. And a lot of times, sometimes when things like this happens, it shows you yourself, and then you realize you got to take a look in the mirror and see that I got to work on me. So hopefully this is what comes out of it. But it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out in terms of the offseason. Here's the other part, is that Golden State's got to make some really tough decisions as to what they're going to do with their money in terms of giving these guys these max contracts. So this is really going to be, I'm going to be really tuned in to see how this plays out in terms of in the offseason, or how the money gets allocated.
Yeah, I thought they was going to have a problem coming into this year. I thought they would have extended Poole coming into this year, and somebody obviously would have had to go, because that is just, you'd have Wiggins, Clay, Dre,
Steph,
Poole, and Steph. Like that's a lot of money.
I know they print money there, but they ain't printing that much money.
Right. Silicon Valley is expensive, but
right.
So I thought they would have taken that. So that's kind of, I guess that wasn't where I was planning to start, but I'll start there. Everything that I've heard since has said Jordan Poole, model person. All the reports are not true. Everybody seems to be defending Jordan Poole's character through this verbally. But I'm an action guy. I see way better than I can hear. And I see a young man that was up for Sixth Man of the Year. And there wasn't really a hint of a deal getting done this all season. You saw Clay and what he looked like. You project that out of what you think is to come as he gets older at his price point, and you didn't lock up Jordan Poole. I watched the interaction, and I saw a whole bunch of teammates standing before, during, and after. I saw nobody rush in. I saw nobody escort Draymond or tackle Draymond or get on Draymond or anything to Draymond. Now, maybe everybody's scared.
Yeah.
Maybe everybody was shocked. But I haven't seen anything that leads me to believe the team feels Draymond was just way out of bounds. I remember when the KD thing happened, there were reports that the team was taking action. That's not the same way I've heard this reported. Most of the reporting I've heard from this was people saying negative things about Jordan Poole and the team trying to defend Jordan Poole. So I'm saying all that to say they know what's true. If the reports are true, Jordan Poole has to own this. And I get the optics of it look bad. But you, as a man, have to own your actions. And in that team, with that culture, even more so. So I believe there's a lot of public support because that's the culture. But if I was a betting man behind closed doors, I think a lot of people are saying, we've been trying to tell you. And you ain't listening. His whole demeanor in pushing another grown man and you going backwards and you staying backwards with your hands down after you have now assaulted another individual leads me to believe you may carry yourself with a certain air of confidence and invincibility. And those people tend to get humbled. And I think he's dealing with a humble moment. I do think it's been mature of him. I haven't heard him speak or comment on it. I think that's maybe smart because he hasn't got to a place he can say the right things, or maybe they're not comfortable he'll answer the questions the right way. But I think there was a lesson learned here, and I think it should be a play on based on what it looks like. You got addressed as you were asking for. He caught you because he wanted to let you know we're still brothers, but you got to chill out. And you might be the future, but don't think you're going to try and rub that in my face. I've been here too long. I've done too much for you to talk to me that way. And you put your hands on me? No, sir. No, not going to work. So, I don't know. It was interesting to see. I'm sure I've seen. Actually, I saw a bad fight when I was in high school. Our star player and another guy had a bad fight. They were friends, but they fought from in the gym to literally out into like almost into the locker room. Like they went out the doors where you used to have to push the handle. Like it was nuts. So I mean, I've seen fights.
Oh, of course, part of the game.
And most people that have siblings, you fight.
Oh yeah.
So I know how the world reacts to this. Oh my God. Bunch of people that have never been in those situations and are just reacting. But I think the Warriors will be fine. But it'll again speak to the maturity of Jordan Poole. Kansas City just looks ridiculous now.
Yeah, well, got to see if this is coming back though.
And Harmon's limping. That's it's not good. Speed guys and injuries. But hopefully he's all right. But it is Mahomes just back there like he's baking the cake.
Feeling.
It's interesting.
Oh yeah, that's getting declined, so that's gonna stand. Yeah, they're rolling for another score.
Yep. Dang.
No, but I think to your point about that with Jordan Poole, I'm sure. I think with both of them, I think both of them have been humbled as a result of this, transpiring.
Yeah. I agree. I think Draymond thinks he was justified, but I think he also realizes it shouldn't have got here. And I have to do a better job as a leader to diffuse it before it gets here. So I agree with that. I do. Season starts a week? Next Thursday?
I think it's the week after this because I got some fancy basketball drafts coming up.
I need to jump in a couple joints. I'll probably do a few this year.
Let's see, it's coming. I think it's the following week, the 7th, the week of the 17th. Yeah, the Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday the 18th. Yeah.
A week from tomorrow.
Yeah, week from tomorrow.
Let's go. Lakers, Warriors.
Yep. And Philly, Boston to kick it off.
So we'll see when Draymond gets back. I mean, the good thing about, for at least for them, it ain't like he really need to be there as far as like an offensive fit. Like it ain't like they're running plays for him or nothing. And then they finally run the ball in the red zone. They do some dumb spinning in a circle draw play. Andy Reid is just, some people are just too smart.
I was just about to say, sometimes we just get a little way too creative.
What is you doing? Just hand him the ball. You turned your back. That's why you ain't see the lineman about to take his head. You almost got him killed because you're turning around. Keep your eyes in front. Oh man, fun times. Well, yeah, we're about there. So we got this Monday. What a drop! There's just so much bad football. Some of this is just bad football on every level. But I can't do it. But I don't get paid to do it either. So I feel like you put your hands above the ball. What are you looking at? Is it the light?
Just went right through his hands. Who knows? Just a drop. It's a part of the game that we're seeing more and more in today's game.
Pat pointed at him, but you going? What was that? A bunch of no. Get to the red zone and just stop running unless.
And you know that was an important stop for Vegas. This keeps them, right there.
The kicking obviously has been no guarantee. So
there you go.
We'll see.
Ray want to give
didn't read that right.
Ray want to give kickers fully guaranteed deals out here.
And this is why. This is why. I need him. I don't need to be him thinking about. And he missed it. He missed it.
He sure did.
This is why you pay kickers. Thank you. Thank you for proving my point. Oh, there's a flag on the play.
Tell me it might get a second chance. Raiders being the Raiders.
Holding on the defense.
Raiders raidering.
How do you
automatic first down?
Holding call on a kick.
Automatic first down. Raiders doing Raider things.
I guess you don't need a kicker when you're playing the Raiders. I'm trying to see the
mental.
I don't see what I was supposed to be looking for. I didn't see.
Oh yeah, he's over here. So I can. Yeah.
They ain't circle him or nothing on the teleprompter.
Yeah, I can't see it. Yeah.
That's deaf. Or listening on silent. Whatever. Who's the Monday Night Crew now?
Troy Aikman and Joe Buck.
Oh, they're better than that. Joe, get your life together, Joe. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate y'all. It's been a pleasure. We'll be back on Thursday. I'm getting my picks back this week. I ain't looked at the schedule yet, but we ain't doing no more 2 and 5. You heard it here first.
Yeah, that
was a one-off.
We're going over 500. I'm reeling you in. I'm just threw my bait out, and I'm just reeling you in. Before we go, we gotta put out our thoughts and prayers. So I got Dev. He suffered loss. So Dev,
definitely thinking about you.
You're definitely in our hearts. You're definitely in our thoughts and our prayers for you and your family for sure.
For sure. So thank you. It was great, Kenny. Definitely appreciate that. But yeah, you guys have a great evening. Next time we record, it'll be less than a week till basketball kicks off.
Yes, sir.
So I am definitely excited about that. Definitely a basketball guy. Got my league pass ready. Came with the 2K, so that worked out pretty cool. Suckers charged me again, but I gave my money back.
So when you bought the game, it came with League Pass?
Yeah, the Jordan package. It was like
oh wow, that's pretty cool.
So you got a bunch of stuff for your player, but it also gave you the year-long League Pass.
Nice.
Edwards-Helaire. Ow! So close. They threw it to him. He got the first down.
See, they don't want me to be great.
You know who getting the ball, right?
Yeah, he's not getting it. They don't want me to be great.
Look at Kelsey on the block. They're going to pay him back for that block.
Right, he's going to get 4.
He about to get 4.
They're going to give him another one. All right, gotta love fantasy.
Poor Edwards-Helaire. Come on, Andy. Give him 1. Patrick Mahomes ain't got to win MVP on all. Is he in the game? It looked like he's in the game.
He is.
In the eye. He's in the eye. Well, we have
a play fake to Kelsey.
Freaking play fake.
Kelsey, I told you. I called it from the formation.
Oh man. I mean, this is great for me. I got Travis. This is wonderful. I didn't check my other leagues. I might be playing against Travis in some leagues. So I might be losing some games because he's obviously a popular player. But in my main league that I care about, it is now a blowout. Travis Kelce is now giving me 33.5, 7 catches, 25 total yards, and 4 touchdowns. I don't think I've ever seen a stat line like this.
This is though back in the day when
his average catches are going down, yards per catch. He's down under 4.
This is old. This is giving me those Jerome Bettis vibes on his tail end of his career, where he would just get those goal line touchdowns and just with killing fantasy, just getting 2 touchdowns on 2 yards.
And once again, Andy Reid, you're up 7. You know what you do? You go for 2. The more than likely, if they score, they're going to go for 2 because you play to win on the road.
Yeah, make it a 2-score game.
I mean, make it a 2, but why take the risk? Just take the point. If they get a touchdown and a 2-point and you lose the game, then that's on defense.
Well, I mean, a touchdown and a 2-point conversion, you're still going into overtime. So,
no, I'm saying if you kick the field goal. But now if the Raiders go get a touchdown and 2 points, you lose.
Right. That's what I'm saying. To your point, that makes it even more so why you just kick the extra point. Yeah. Or maybe after you just missed that field goal, maybe. I don't know. Who knows?
There's a whole no, the extra point is from about that distance. So
yeah, so he just missed. So maybe that's what it was. He didn't have confidence.
Oh, so are you saying that
there you go.
You need to pay kickers more?
This guy goes.
Look at the kickers dictating outcomes. And now they've gone for 2. And if they lose this game because they didn't want to kick it, you got Jay Ness, you need to come back and stand.
Whatever. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll be back.
Pay kickers. Everyone, pay the kickers. Good night.
Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays.